I was 20 when I got together with Andrew. He was a guy I'd liked for ages. He was 7 years older than me and had been married. He was separated and he had two children. One night along the way, we took a risk, and I did actually have a feeling of dread. But I went away to England that weekend to see a friend of mine, and when I was there, I missed a period. I was, kind of dreading it, but I felt I should know sooner rather than later. So I made an appointment for a free pregnancy test at a healthcare centre. It was a bit of a blur, but I remember hearing the words, "It's positive, you're pregnant." I was very shocked and I was in a bit of a daze, but I remember making an appointment to see a doctor about a termination for a few weeks later. I was very nervous about telling my mum and dad, so in the end I put it in a letter and told them I was going to England. My dad was very upset, obviously, and I felt he was disappointed in me, which was a horrible feeling. Mum was a bit more animated in her upset. I think I knew at the time, even though I was in shock, that I wasn't going to go through with the pregnancy. I knew I'd consider all my options, but that it was not the right time for me to have a child. I'd just finished my first year in college. I had no financial stability. Andrew was very shocked when I told him I was pregnant, but he said he'd support me whatever decision I made. I started to get a really strong sense of disgust for Andrew, which was a very, very strange feeling. I didn't want him holding my hand, and it was very odd because it was Andrew. I think that feeling came from a sense of blame. I think that's what made me feel like that. I made 3 more lonely trips to England. I don't have a huge recollection of the procedure or the aftermath, but I do remember lying in the ward feeling very lonely and very sad and having to leave after a certain amount of time and sit in the cafe and wait for my friend. I have never regretted my decision. I know I made the right decision at the time. It was not a good time for me to have a child. 6 years later, I became pregnant with someone I was in love with. And even though there was tears and adjustments to be made, I was certain I was going to go through with that pregnancy. It was the right time for me. And even though her father and I are not together anymore, I know I made the right decision. And parenthood it's a big responsibility, and it's full of joys and tears. And I just needed to grow up a little bit myself, I suppose.